Hi, everybody. I'm coming to you live from my living room floor. Happy Monday. I hope everyone is having a lovely summer so far. I just got back from a road trip on the West Coast. It was eventful. It was very fun. It had its challenges. I mentioned I had a little contest running in the group, having you all guess the ultimate low point of our trip, which did involve my youngest barfing all over the inside of our rental car. Um, yeah, so that was a low point, but we got to see all kinds of lovely stuff within Oregon and visit dear friends and family. And it was great. It was fun. It was adventurous. It was dirty. It was smelly. All the things you would imagine from a trip with your two young kids in a rental car, camping, and whatnot. So, if anyone's interested in seeing that photo of the barf, let me know. I'd be happy to send it to you. But I really don't want to expose anyone to that unnecessarily. So, Sharon and Liam, you guys guessed it. I will be giving you a special treat when you come back. I know you guys are actually traveling in Spain at the moment. For those of you who don't know, they won the special prize for guessing what in fact happened at our very low point in our trip. So I do owe you all some words of wisdom around blogging and shredding up that blogging content. So I had taken a poll a few weeks ago. My apologies for not hopping on here sooner. It's been a little crazy getting ready for the trip and then taking that trip. But I had taken a poll, and a lot of you were interested in getting some ideas around blogging and creating some unique blog content that you can then use for other kinds of content, right? So squeezing the life out of that particular post. So first, I just want to start with blogging. Why do we blog? What is the point of blogging? Who's going to read it? Who cares, right? Like, who gives a shit? As it turns out, a lot of people do actually care what you have to say. If you are an expert on something, or if you have an opinion about a particular topic, you should share it, and that's valid pieces of information that people are actually quite interested to hear. You can certainly do research around what people are searching for, which is always really helpful, and I could do a separate video on that if you all are interested. But I would certainly, when it comes to blogging, I would think first and foremost about what are some of the things that people ask you often, right? So if you have clients or customers that you serve on a regular basis, think about those frequently asked questions, and you could build a post around that. So what blogging does is it provides key positioning for you, and it helps to establish you as an authority within your space. So that's one. It provides a way for you to connect with your audience. That's two. Search engine optimization, which is just a fancy way of saying that Google is sending people to your content and your website, which is why your blog should live on your website. It gives you a way to pull traffic to that site so that hopefully people will be interested in other blog posts that you have to share, other thoughts, also, perhaps a portfolio or your list of services or products and the kinds of problems that you solve. So it's really a gateway into what it is that you do and warming up that interested party and maybe turning them into a customer. And then it also gives you unique content that you could then share and boost on your social channels. And once you've created this unique content, it takes time, right? You want to make sure that it's written well. You want to make sure that you've done your research, that you've taken your audience into consideration, and you've created something worth sharing. So once you've done that, it's important to then boost it in various places as much as you can. And so that's where this quick chat comes in. It's ways to kind of repurpose that content and to spread the word as much as you can, because the more eyeballs that you can get on that content, the better. And that means that the blog is actually doing what it's supposed to do, which is increasing engagement and having people become much more aware of your brand, of your range of services, whatever the case may be. So let's see, where do I want to start? I did make some quick notes here, so I'm cheating a little bit here. It's good to be mindful of the fact that everyone engages with content differently. So some people consume content much easier in video form. Some people love to listen to podcasts. So for instance, if you do a lot of travel for work, or maybe you're doing some mindless work at your desk, which if I'm photoshopping something for hours on end, then I'll queue up a podcast. So it gives me an opportunity to kind of be learning and working my brain a little bit in addition to getting some stuff done. Some people love to read. Reading's good, right? People do still read, so you want to make sure that that's there as well. And then others enjoy some visual pieces of content to go hand in hand with that written content. So there's just a lot of different ways that you can present your blog piece. So the ultimate suggestion that I have for all of you is something called the Content Shredder, which I've learned from Troy Dean of WP Elevation and my friend Simon Kelly as well. I think you've talked about this as well. So the concept is to work smarter, not harder. So perhaps you put together an outline of something that you want to chat about, right? So you could sit down, you could record the video like I am now. Record a video chatting about the things that you're comfortable with, right? And it doesn't need to start here, but this is kind of the ultimate use of your time, where you would simply record that video, hitting all of the points that you want to hit. Then you would have that transcribed, right? So you could hire someone to do that for you. There's also a service called rev.com, which I think is, a couple bucks a minute or something like that. I can leave some links in the video below so that you all know where to start. I'm sure there's other services as well. So make your recording, have it transcribed, then that transcription can become a blog post, right? That video, in the meantime, could be added to Facebook, because video converts much more frequently than written content or even just plain imagery. So I would add it to Facebook. I would think about adding it to Instagram if you're using Instagram. And then I would add it to YouTube. Make sure that you have a YouTube channel. Make sure that you're adding in appropriate descriptions, hitting on various keywords that you think people might be searching for. So in this case, I'm talking about blogging. So I would mention something about repurposing your blog and blasting it across, or getting the most out of your blog, something like that. Once it's been turned into a blog post, then you can take that blog content, so it's posted to your blog, right? That's living on your website. That's going to go out to you're going to boost that on your various social channels, sending the link back to your site. From there, you're going to take that content and you're going to add it to medium.com. And then you're also going to add it to LinkedIn, because LinkedIn has an article section, right? So they sort of have their own internal blogging platform. And you can simply copy and paste that. Now, if other people might counter this suggestion, because I know there's always that issue of duplicate content. I've done a little bit of research, and I believe it's okay to double post on your blog and then on LinkedIn. And it certainly is okay with Medium, because the algorithms are a little bit different, and they have done it in such a way that you will not be penalized for that duplicate content. LinkedIn I'm a little fuzzier on, but from what I understand, post it to LinkedIn and then make sure that you are giving credit and sending a link back to your original blog post. Okay? Then have that use that blog post as the foundation for creating an infographic. So an infographic is essentially a graphic representation of the concepts that you're touching on. So in this case, for this particular video, I could then send this to, say, Fiverr.com or GrowthGeeks.com. Actually, in my case, I would send it to my designer because I do have a designer that works for me, and I would ask her to create an infographic based on this chat. And I can show you all examples of infographic, but you could also just Google infographics and see what I'm talking about. So what it does is it just adds a visual piece, and you can use that as kind of a visual guideline, actually, for, say, turning your blog post into all kinds of different media, right? From there, let's see, I'm just checking my notes here. From there, you can also create a checklist, a downloadable checklist, for instance. What that means is people would be giving you their email address in exchange for a checklist, which would give them kind of the lowdown on the post itself, something that they can skim easily, and then they can put to use. It's actionable for them straight away, and then you also get their email address in exchange. Or you could have, you could create an ebook, right? So that's a downloadable PDF, same as the checklist, that concept of providing that, which is immediate value to your audience in exchange for their email address, which means that you can send them newsletters and continue to nurture them and chat with them and market to them over time because they're giving you that permission. And I have a couple of bonus suggestions as well. So one is making sure that you're sending out a newsletter once you've published a new blog post. Get a newsletter out to your audience so that they're aware of this new content, and it's going to be linked to the blog post, and you can get more eyeballs on that blog post, and maybe people will be sharing it on their platforms, and then you can be leveraging their audience, okay? And then one idea that I had, which I think I'm going to try to do in the coming weeks, would be once your blog post has been published, then perhaps a few weeks down the road, you could tap other people within your industry and have them make their own suggestions, leave comments about the blog post itself. So this is a great way to minimize the amount of work that you have to do, and then you give other people an opportunity to show up within your blog. So say you reached out to a handful of people that you know within your industry. So maybe I do have a few people that I could reach out to and ask them, when you blog, what are the tips that you want to share? And what do you want people to keep in mind as far as generating ideas or coming up with various ways of structuring that content, whatever. And then they could write a quick few paragraphs, right? And then I could organize it in a blog post form with, say, their photo and their contact information and a link to their website, which is a bonus for them. We all need links to our website because that makes us more reputable in Google's eyes. So those are considered backlinks, and those are a huge bonus. So you can then begin to leverage other people's audience and give your site an extra boost as a result, which is awesome. I also use something called Missing Letter. I'm going to put these in the links below. But what Missing Letter does is once you've created a blog post, it pulls information and content from that post, and over the course of a year, it puts a sample schedule together with pull quotes and images from that post, and I can show you all an example of this if people are interested. I could do a quick walkthrough of the platform. But what it does is it puts a series of posts together that you can then go in and change as needed. And then you have posts that go out year long to promote that one blog post, right? So we don't want to just promote that blog post one time to our social channels. We want to make sure that it's promoted a few times, throughout the year. And I believe Missing Letter spins up maybe 12 posts in total going out at different, it's staggered, right? So it kind of goes out week 1, week 3, week 5, week 7, that kind of thing. And you can, of course, change the frequency as well. But it's a really nice way of sending people to that post by way of images and pull quotes and certain key pieces that you're hitting on in the post, and they're sent back to it in just different ways, right? And it kind of takes the busy work out of it from your end. It already thinks of the ideas for you, is what I'm saying. Another quick tip that I have for you, or something maybe worth looking into, would be my friend Kim Doyle, who I think is in this group, and I will tag her, and she can comment on this as well. But her and her partner, her business partner, have created the Content Creators Planner, which is really great. What this does is this allows you to, it's a physical workbook, obviously, that you can work on yourself and with your team. And it walks you through setting goals and creating campaigns, mapping out your content, planning the month, planning the week, and then tracking and measuring how people are responding, because that's a really important part, right? We don't want to just throw a bunch of shit against the wall and seeing what sticks. We want to make sure that these things are working to our benefit and that we're actually speaking to the kinds of things that folks are interested in hearing about. She has all kinds of content ideas in this workbook. In addition to the calendar itself, it's just a really nice way to start at a high level and then kind of drill down to the specifics. She also has a Content Creators Masterclass, which I'm currently working through right now, and I can let you all know what it's like and how it is and what it's done for myself and for AlchemyThree. So stay tuned for that. If you're interested, let me know, and I'm happy to comment on that at length and give you some really good feedback as to how that course goes. I'm sure it's amazing, though. I mean, Kim's really great. She knows what she's doing. She's been rocking some really amazing content, lots of podcasting and stuff for a number of years now. And I think that's it. I'm realizing I've talked for almost 20 minutes, so I'm going to sign off here. But I hope you guys are having an awesome summer. Let me know if I can be helpful in any way, if you have questions, if there's particular business things that you're working through this summer to try to implement in the fall. I would be happy to give you feedback or jump on a quick call, whatever it is you need. Thanks for putting up with my obnoxious animated GIFs. I love them so much. This group is my outlet for sharing those ridiculous images. That's it for now. Take care. Have a good one. Smell you later. Bye.